A penalty shootout is a method of determining the winner of an association football match that is drawn after the regulation as well as extra playing time. In a penalty shootout, each team takes turns attempting a specified number of shots from the penalty mark that are only defended by the opposing team's goalkeeper, with the team scoring the most goals being declared the winner. Although the procedure for taking kicks from the penalty mark resembles that of a penalty kick, there are some differences. Most notably, neither the kicker nor any player other than the goalkeeper may play the ball again once it has been kicked. The method of breaking a draw in a match requiring a winner is determined beforehand by the match organizing body. FIFA-sanctioned competitions and most professional-level competitions employ kicks from the penalty mark following one or more extra periods of play. The length and number of extra periods as well as whether or not they are sudden death are also stipulated by the match organizing body. Although employed in football commonly since the 1970s, penalty shootouts remain unpopular with some, due primarily to the perceived reliance on luck rather than skill. Overview. During a shootout, coaches, players other than the kicker and the goalkeepers must remain in the center circle. The kicking team's goalkeeper stands at the intersection of the goal line and the penalty area line near one of the assistant referees. Goals scored during the shootout are not included in the final score, nor are they added to the goal-scoring records of the players involved. A tie is a common result in football. Shootouts are only used in competitions that require a match winner at the end of the game. This is predominantly in knockout cup ties. As opposed to round-robin leagues, they will determine which team will progress to the next round of a tournament, or win it. Usually extra time has been played first, but this is not necessary. Exceptions include the Copa Libertadores, the FA Community Shield and the Football League Trophy, all of which use shootouts straight after the end of normal time. Exceptionally, a shootout after a league round-robin match may be provided for. This provision appears for occasions where opposing teams in a final day match finish the group with identical records, which can result in an immediate shootout. This happened in Group A of the 2003 UEFA Women's Under-19 Championship. This rule is a recent innovation, and for example did not apply in Group F of the 1990 World Cup, where the Republic of Ireland and the Netherlands were separated by drawing of lots immediately after finishing the final day match in a draw. Several leagues, such as the J-League, have experimented with penalty shootouts immediately following a drawn league match, with the winner being awarded an extra point. In the United States and Canada, Major League Soccer initially also had a shootout immediately following the end of full time, even during league matches, although these shootouts differed from standard penalty shootouts. A team that loses a penalty shootout is eliminated from the tournament, but it does not count as a defeat, while the winning team in the shootout advances but does not get a match victory. For instance, the Netherlands are considered to have concluded the 2014 FIFA World Cup undefeated, despite being eliminated at the semi-final stage. Procedure. The following is a summary of the procedure for kicks from the penalty mark. The procedure is specified in Rule 10 of FIFA's booklet Laws of the Game. The referee tosses a coin to decide the goal at which the kicks will be taken. The choice of goal by the coin toss winner may only be changed by the referee for safety reasons or if the goal or playing surface becomes unusable. The referee tosses the coin a second time to determine which team will take the first kick. All players other than the kicker and the goalkeepers must remain in the pitch's center circle. Each kick will be taken in the general manner of a penalty kick. Each kick will be taken from the penalty mark, which is 12 yards from the goal line and equidistant from each touchline, with the goal defended only by the opposing goalkeeper. The goalkeeper must remain between the goalposts on his goal line until the ball has been kicked, although he can jump in place face, wave his arms, move side to side along the goal line, or otherwise try to distract the shooter. Each team is responsible for selecting from the eligible players the order in which they will take the kicks. The referee is not informed of the order. Each kicker can kick the ball only once per attempt. Once kicked, the kicker may not play the ball again. No other player on either team other than the designated kicker and goalkeeper may touch the ball. A kick is successful if, having been touched once by the kicker, the ball crosses the goal line between the goal posts and under the crossbar, without touching any player, official, or outside agent other than the defending goalkeeper. The ball may touch the goalkeeper, goal posts, or crossbar any number of times before going into the goal, as long as the referee believes the ball's motion is the result of the initial kick. This was clarified after an incident in the 1986 World Cup shootout between Brazil and France. Bruno Bellon's kick rebounded out off the post, hit goalkeeper Carlos's back, and subsequently bounced into the goal. Referee Johan Igna gave the goal to France, and Brazil captain Edinho was booked for protesting that the kick should have been considered a miss as soon as it rebounded off the post. In 1987, the International Football Association Board clarified Law 14, covering penalty kicks, to support Igna's decision. Teams take turns to kick from the penalty mark until each has taken 5 kicks. However, if one side has scored more successful kicks than the other could possibly reach with all of its remaining kicks, the shootout immediately ends regardless of the number of kicks remaining. This basis is called best of 5 kicks. If at the end of these 5 rounds of kicks the teams have scored an equal number of successful kicks, additional rounds of 1 kick each will be used until the tie is broken. This is known as sudden death. The team that scores the most successful kicks at the end of the shootout will be winner of the match. Only players who were on the pitch at the end of play will be allowed to participate in the shootout. If one side has more players on the pitch than the other, whether as a result of injury or red cards, then the side with more players must select some players who will not take part. For example, if Team A has 11 players but Team B only has 10, then Team A will choose one player who will not take part. Players chosen this way cannot play any part in the procedure, including acting as goalkeeper. The rule was introduced by the International Football Association Board in February 2000 because previously an 11th kick would be taken by the 11th player of a full-strength team and the first player of a sub-strength team. A rule change in 2016 eliminated the potential for a team to gain such an advantage if a player is injured or sent off during the shootout. A team may replace a goalkeeper who becomes injured during the shootout with a substitute, provided the team has not already used the maximum number of substitutes allowed by the competition. If a goalkeeper is sent off during the shootout, another player who finished the game must act as goalkeeper. If a player other than the goalkeeper becomes injured or is sent off during the shootout, then the shootout will continue with no substitution allowed. Any player remaining on the pitch may act as goalkeeper, and it is not required that the same player act as goalkeeper throughout the game. No player will be allowed to take a second kick until all other eligible players on the team have taken a first kick, including the goalkeeper. If it becomes necessary for players to take another kick, players are not required to kick in the same order. Sledging is allowed during penalty shootout. No field player can act as a goalkeeper in penalty shootout unless player is already a goalkeeper during playing time. Sudden death happens after first 5 sets of penalties, draws, no any results. Tactics. Defending against a penalty kick is one of the most difficult tasks a goalkeeper can face. Some decide which way they will dive beforehand, giving themselves time to reach the side of the goal mouth. A 2011 study published in the journal Psychological Science found goalkeepers dive to the right 71% of the time when the team was losing, but only 48% when ahead and 49% when tied, a phenomenon believed to be related to certain right-preferring behavior in social mammals. Others try to read the kicker's motion pattern. Kickers may attempt to feint or delay the shot to see which way the keeper dives. Shooting high and center in the space that the keeper will evacuate carries the highest risk of shooting above the bar. If a keeper blocks a penalty kick during a match, there is a danger the kicker or a teammate may score from the rebound. This is not relevant in the case of a shootout. The crowd behind the goal may favor one team and try to distract the other team's shooters. To forestall this, referees may choose the less partisan goal for the shootout. A goalkeeper may use distracting gamesmanship such as cleaning his boots or asking the referee to see if the ball is placed properly. This risks a caution for unsporting conduct. Bruce Grobbelaar's wobbly legs clowning distracted Francesco Graziani in the 1984 European Cup final shootout. The keeper is forbidden from moving off the goal line to narrow the shooter's angle. The 2003 UEFA Champions League final shootout caused controversy as replays showed that both keepers got away with this, as did Jerzy Dudek in the 2005 Champions League final. History. Origins. Before the introduction of shootouts, knockout matches level after extra time would be decided by a replay or a coin toss. However, variants of the modern shootout were used before then in several domestic competitions and minor tournaments. Domestic examples include the Yugoslav Cup from 1952, the Coppa Italia from 1958-59, and the Swiss Interregional Youth Cup from 1959-60. International examples include the 1962 Uran Cup, the final of the 1962 Ramon de Carranza Trophy, and a silver medal play-off match between amateur teams representing Venezuela and Bolivia in the 1965 Bolivarian Games. In major competitions, when a replay playoff was not possible, ties were previously broken by drawing of lots. Examples include Italy's win over the USSR in the semi-final of the 1968 European Championship. Israeli Yosef Dagan is credited with originating the modern shootout. After watching the Israeli team lose a 1968 Olympic quarter-final game against Bulgaria by drawing of lots in Mexico, Michael Elmog, later president of the Israel FA, described Dagan's proposal in a letter published in FIFA News in August 1969. Koyute, the Malaysian FA's member of the referees committee, led the move for its adoption by FIFA. FIFA's proposal was discussed on 20 February 1970 by a working party of the International Football Association Board, which recommended its acceptance. Although not entirely satisfied with it, it was adopted by the IFAB's annual general meeting on 27 June 1970. In 2006, Deutsche Presse agent reported a claim by former referee Karl Wall, from Frankfurt am Main, that he had first proposed the shootout in 1970 to the Bavarian FA. Development. In England, the first penalty shootout in a professional match took place in 1970 at Booth Ferry Park, Hull, between Hull City and Manchester United during the semi-final of the Watney Cup, and was won by Manchester United. The first player to take a kick was George Best, and the first to miss was Dennis Law. Ian McKechnie, who saved Law's kick, was also the first goalkeeper to take a kick. His shot hit the crossbar and deflected over, parting Hull City out of the cup. Penalty shootouts were used to decide matches in UEFA's European Cup and Cup Winners' Cup in the 1970-71 season. On 30 September 1970, after a 4-4 aggregate draw in the first round of the Cup Winners' Cup, Honved won the first shootout 5-4 against Aberdeen, when Jim Forrest's shot hit the bar. 5 weeks later, on 4 November 1970, the first ever European Cup shootout took place between Everton FC and Borussia Mönchengladbach, with the side from England this time being the winners 4-3. In the first round of the European Cup 1972-73, the referee prematurely ended a shootout between CSKA Sofia and Panathinaikos, with CSKA leading 3-2 but Panathinaikos having taken only 4 kicks. Panathinaikos complained to UEFA and the match was annulled and replayed the following month, with CSKA winning without the need for a shootout. The final of the 1973 Campeonato Paulista ended in similar circumstances. Santos were leading Portuguesa 2-0 with each team having taken 3 shootout kicks, when referee Armando Marques mistakenly declared Santos the winners. Portuguesa manager Otto Gloria quickly led his team out of the stadium. This was allegedly to ensure the shootout could not resume once the mistake was discovered, and that instead the match would be replayed, giving Portuguesa a better chance of victory. When Santos counter-objected to a replay, Paulista FA president Osvaldo Teixeira Duarte annulled the original match and declared both teams joint champions. The first major international tournament to be decided by a penalty shootout was the 1976 European Championship final between Czechoslovakia and West Germany. UEFA had made provision for a final replay 2 days later, but the teams decided to use a shootout instead. Czechoslovakia won 5-3, and the deciding kick was converted by Antonin Panenka with a chip after Uli Hoeneß had put the previous kick over the crossbar. The first penalty shootout in the World Cup was on 9 January 1977, in the first round of African qualifying, when Tunisia beat Morocco. The first shootout in the finals tournament was in 1982, when West Germany beat France in the semi-final. If the 1982 final had been drawn, penalties would not have applied unless the replay was also drawn. From 1986, penalties were scheduled after the final as for the earlier knockout rounds.